Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. I believe you had a very good morning today, although it is very much rainy outside. So we are now at the end of our 3 days commission. We will begin this afternoon with our consideration of agenda item 7, adoption of the report of the committee and the outcome document of its 7th session. I have the pleasure to present you the draft of the 7th session of the Committee on Social Development contained in document ESCAP/CSD/2022/L.2. The report of the Committee on Social Development contains 2 sections. It has been provided to you today. I think it was even at 10 o'clock via email and is online for you available. 2 sections. First, matters calling for action by the Commission. And the second, organizational aspects. A short account of proceedings will be prepared after the meeting and circulated for factual corrections within a week of the conclusion of the meeting. This will be then annexed to the report as an account of proceedings. I would like to inform delegates that language editing of the report will be undertaken by the Secretariat following the adoption of the report. In view of this, distinguished delegates are requested to focus on the substance of the report and to leave the editorial work of correcting any grammatical or typographical errors to the Secretariat. I also request those delegates wishing to make minor changes to the text to read them out at dictation speed so we can write it down. With respect to any major changes, please provide the written text to the Secretariat so that they may enter it on screen for consideration by all delegates. You can see the draft report also now on the screen. May I propose that we go through the text of the draft report with an aim of adopting it, and we will review the draft report decision by decision. So I think we have had already looked and have received already some comments on some minor issues. So maybe we could go with the decision 1. We have now come to the conclusion of decisions.
No, decision 1.
Decision 1.
Then decision 2.
Okay. Any comments on decision 1? I see none, so let us adopt decision 1. On decision 2?
Yes,
No. Russian Federation, please take the floor.
Благодарю вас, госпожа председатель. У нас есть перевод?
Yes. Yes, we have it. Yes, we have it.
Благодарю вас, госпожа председатель. У нас есть поправка по решению 2. 2 строчка. Слово mechanisms. Мы считаем необходимым его вычеркнуть и заменить следующими словами: ways and means. Это первое. И 2 поправка касается того предложения, которое связано с проблематикой гражданского общества и организаций. For the sake of clarity and convenience, we believe that we'd better move this part of the text, which reads as well as civil society organizations and organizations of elder persons operating at the regional and sub-regional levels in Asia and the Pacific, вот эту часть, this part of the text, we move to the end of the sentence. Before this part, which I'm talking about, we add, taking into account the involvement as appropriate of. Таким образом, текст будет звучать следующим образом. The committee requests the Secretariat to explore appropriate ways and means to support interested members and associate members of the Commission
Involvement.
to strengthen the implementation of and follow-up to the outcomes of the Asia-Pacific Intergovernmental Meeting on the fourth review and appraisal of the Madrid International Plan of Action on Aging, taking into account the involvement as appropriate of, comma, of civil society organizations and organizations of older persons operating at the regional and sub-regional levels in Asia and the Pacific. Спасибо.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, distinguished delegate from Russia. Are there any other comments on decision number 2 on the comment of Russia from the member countries? From organizations? I see none. Then, Mr. Tata, would you like to comment on that, whether it is okay?
It is perfectly, it's totally, we will incorporate the change as suggested.
Okay, then I declare decision number 2 as amended by the distinguished delegate of Russia, adopted by the conference. On decision number 3, are there any comments?
Only member states can comment on this, no organizations.
I see none, so the decision number 3 is adopted. On decision number 4, are there any comments? I see none, so the decision 4 is adopted as it is. Now we have, I open the floor to any comments on remaining sections, section 2, 3, and annex of the report. I see U.S., representative of U.S., distinguished delegate, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good afternoon to all. I do not have any comments specific to this report, but I would like to make some brief remarks in response to comments made yesterday just to clarify the position of our government. Sanctions are an appropriate, effective, peaceful, and legitimate tool for addressing threats to peace and security. They can be used to promote accountability for those who abuse human rights, undermine democracy, or engage in corrupt activities. In cases where the United States has applied sanctions, we have done so with specific objectives in mind, including the promotion of democratic systems, rule of law, respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms, or to respond to security threats. As we implement these restrictions, we also regularly take measures to minimize unintended negative consequences. Sanctions are a legitimate way to achieve foreign policy, national security, and other national and international objectives, and the United States is not alone in that view or in that practice. This concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, distinguished delegate from U.S. Any other comments to the other matters or respond to U.S.? There are none. Would you like to respond that, Mr. Tata, that we take it in note?
We take note of the statement made by the United States.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. So there are no other comments on remaining sections and the annex of the report, so it is to be decided as adoption. I have reviewed all the sections. I propose that the draft report to be adopted with editorial changes to be taken care by the Secretariat. Are we all in agreement with this? Okay, good. adopted. Thank you so much. Distinguished delegates, as I hear no views to the contrary, I declare this report adopted by acclamation. Thank you so much. So before the closing statement, I would like to take this opportunity to invite you to answer the electronic evaluation questionnaire for this meeting. The QR code for the questionnaire is shared on the screen for you to access and complete after the committee session. The Secretariat will also share the questionnaire with participants via email. I now wish to invite Mr. Tata, Director of the Social Development Division, ESCAP, to deliver the closing statement.
Madam Chair, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Executive Secretary, it is my honor to deliver the closing statement at the end of the 7th session of the Committee on Social Development. At the opening of this meeting, Madam Chair, we were invited to deliberate candidly on 4 areas that required our attention, namely on the need to build a resilient workforce, strengthen social protection, foster a society for all ages, and to promote disability-inclusive development. Our Executive Secretary, in her opening speech, pointed out that existing gaps in all these areas and shared some figures that may be of some concern to us, but at the same time, she also noted the considerable progress that had been made. We also noted how new progressive outcome documents and frameworks have been adopted by member states in our region and how they are really being implemented to the full ability given the constraints that exist. Distinguished delegates, Excellencies, over the past days, this committee has served as the venue for discussing how the region can change course from where people are left unprotected and marginalized to one where everyone is included and plays an active part. You have deliberated on the need to step up support for people who are excluded from healthcare and social protection, who are aging or already old, who are vulnerable in informal jobs, and those who live with disability. Together, these groups make up a significant proportion of the people in our region. They should no longer have to wait, and we can no longer afford to leave them behind. And this is the message that we are hearing from all of you. We also agreed that we need to invest more in our people and in effective policies. Achieving results requires strong political will and the right tools. Listening to the discussions in the committee, I'm sure we are all pleased that we have both. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, through your dedication and active participation, this meeting has successfully arrived at 4 decisions on social protection, aging, and disability. Together, we can deliver on this commitment better and smarter. We can learn from each other, exchange experiences, and set new standards for building better societies and lives for all people in Asia and the Pacific. The Secretariat stands ready to support you in this regard and always in collaboration with our United Nations partners. In closing, I would like to thank you, most of all, Madam Chair, for your leadership in steering us to such a successful conclusion, and also the Vice Chairs who have assisted us and who supported you throughout this process, and for also bringing us to a successful conclusion. I think we would like to acknowledge the contribution of all members and associate members, intergovernmental organizations, UN agencies, civil society organizations, and all the other stakeholders who participated in this meeting and really contributed towards making it such a vibrant and outcome-oriented discussion. Finally, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to our conference management unit and our interpreters who worked tirelessly throughout these meetings to deliver a successful conference. We might have had a few hiccups, but we apologize for them. But overall, I hope we have put forward our best efforts to make this successful. Finally, I would be remiss if I do not acknowledge the sincere appreciation to my own team and who have really worked tirelessly And I have had the easy job of sitting up here while they've really made this meeting a very, very successful one. And I thank them for the hard work and excellent organizations. Thank you, Madam Chair. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Tata. Thank you for your great leadership and all your work, all the organization. We all very happy to be back in person in conferences, and I hope that we all see us again in Jakarta. Our consensus today expresses our recognition of the centrality of a healthy, protected, and productive workforce to achieve the Agenda 2030, which is actually upcoming in 8 years. We are on the half of our way. And the last 2 years have thrown us a little bit back. So we have to keep in pace much more than previously planned. Through our collective efforts, we have also agreed to reinforce our commitment to the implementation of the action plan to strengthen regional cooperation on social protection in Asia and the Pacific. It also highlights our resolve to redouble our efforts to meet the commitments we have made on population and development and rights of older people, reaffirmed the region's commitment to continue working towards the inclusion of all persons with disabilities as part of our efforts to achieve sustainable development in the region. It is my hope that the report endorsed today can serve as a reminder of many important steps we will need to take to implement the 2030 Agenda in Asia and the Pacific, as also globally in the world. Please permit me to reiterate my sincere appreciation for the honor bestowed upon us to serve you this committee session. Many thanks also, of course, to the hard work of the Secretariat, especially to the translators, and also all the workers working at the backstage. Let me also thank conference officers, editors who worked hard behind the scenes, who will also, again, work behind the scenes, work on the documents, and provide you with all the information. Thank you for giving me also the opportunity to chair this session. With this, I'd like to declare the 7th session of the Committee on Social Development closed. I thank you very much. Please stay healthy. Please stay safe. Good journey back to your homes. Thank you. The session is closed.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Wonderful.